everyone, and welcome to today's Impact in Action webinar, showcasing some of the YMCA of Central New York's work in education. A few notes before we begin. Please keep yourself muted during the presentation. Feel free to submit questions in the chat at any time. We'll reserve some time at the end for Q&A. We have, I think, both the chat and the Q&A function available. We'll watch both of them and see what works. And again, this session is being recorded to share with other folks from our community later on. So today's webinar is the first of 3 that we're doing this season. And it'll show how the Y is making an impact in the lives of children, teens, and families through after-school programs, summer learning, and college and career readiness initiatives. To begin, I'm honored to introduce Phil Memmer, our District Executive Director of the Arts and Education Branch, who will set the stage for us, sharing our vision, values, and the role of education at the Y. Thanks so much, Phil.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm really delighted to talk to you today about some really important programming we do at the YMCA of Central New York that I've had the privilege of being a part of for 25 years now. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary of the Arts and Education Branch, which makes me feel very old to say out loud, but certainly something we're looking forward to celebrating next year because we're too busy right now to have a party. But next year we are planning a big party, and I hope you'll join us for that. Let's go to the next slide. Thanks. Our values at the Arts and Education Branch are to value creativity, accessibility, belonging, and an inclusive community. And we support these values through lifelong learning in the visual, literary, and performing arts, along with elementary and secondary school programs that encourage self-confidence, social emotional development, academic success, and physical health. A lot of people don't know that the Y has a very long history with education programming. We are a little bit unique in the YMCA movement in that we have a whole branch dedicated to arts and education. But way back to the Y's beginning, it has not just been a place for gym and swim. A lot of people may not know that some of the first YMCA's really having a library was a huge component of the program, and educational programs for men who were living in those facilities, coming and working in the cities and in factories and things and needing a positive outlet. Education for those folks was a huge part of what the Y did early on and has always been part of what we do. And we're certainly poised to continue that legacy through the arts and also through education, community service, and equity. Next slide, please. So the arts branch, as it was founded 25 years ago, now the Arts and Education Branch, has always had an education-focused mission. Our original mission for the branch was to enrich lives through education in the visual, literary, and performing arts. And that was how we strove to meet the YMCA's overall mission. That is still very central to us, except that the mission has expanded to not just arts education, but education more generally. We're helping children and teens succeed academically, grow in confidence, and discover their potential. Roughly 1,500 children and teens every year at the Y, and that's not counting our art studio programs and dance programs, music lessons, et cetera. When you throw all those in, it ends up being more like 3,000 to 4,000 youth who participate in our programs in any given year. Our programs span our after-school arts programs, which is right now in 8 Syracuse and North Syracuse schools, tutoring, college readiness, and the Power Scholars Academy, which is a program we'll hear about in a little bit. And it's important to remember that so many of the families and youth we serve are coming to us from disadvantaged and historically marginalized communities where education is both a huge opportunity, but also a tremendous challenge. We have a large number of kids who come to us with learning disabilities. And of course, as probably many of you know, the city of Syracuse is home to among the very largest percentages of child poverty in the country, especially among Black and Brown populations. So, our programs are a really crucial support to help ensure that kids have a leg up, have a way to work towards a college education, and hopefully, find themselves in a stronger position later in life. They're also really important for families. are families who um, uh, take advantage of our after school programs and our other programs around the county. Not only are their kids getting educational benefits, but of course, they're getting much needed care for their children also, often. So that's also very important. And of course, they're all Y programs. So at their heart, we do a lot of good learning. We have real important outcomes, but the programs are also really designed to be fun. We want our kids having a good time in the arts, just like they would be having a good time in a sports activity or in the pool or anywhere else. Next slide, please. All right. So a huge portion of the work we do at the Y of Central New York is our after school arts program. As I mentioned earlier, that program serves around 1,500 kids total. And I'm delighted to introduce Diana Torba, who is our senior program director for after school arts. And she's going to tell us a little bit about those programs and also show us a video.
Hello, I am Diana Torba, the Senior Program Director, as Phil mentioned. I have been in this role now for 4 years, and I'm so proud of the great things that we're doing in inner city Syracuse. We do serve over 1,500 students daily across Syracuse and North Syracuse. Our Syracuse sites include Van Dyne and McKinley Morning Program, McKinley After School, Salem Hyde, Roberts, Syracuse Latin, North Syracuse. We were excited to expand there. And through a new LEAPS grant, we are at Franklin and also Van Dyne After School. When I start programming, I think of great staff. So we're really looking for candidates who after school fits into their schedule and they have a very clear gift. So are they jewelry makers? Do they do world building? Do they just love art, dance? We have a lot of African dance and step and drill style dance. And they also need the social, emotional, and the community aspect of their character because the students can't wait to see them when they come in. It's really a breath of fresh air from the order of the school day that all these children are used to see someone with a Y lanyard on coming in with a fresh energy, with a clear gift to share with the children is really the heart of why our programs are so successful. We're doing a new cosmetology class at Roberts this year, and the kids just can't wait to start braiding hair and learning how to do things with technique. I'd like to also make sure all our instructors are giving technique in addition to just free artistry. And they get a snack. They have a grown-up that they can turn to and maybe talk through their day a little bit. So whereas potentially there could be mischief after school, the YMCA comes in and shares our values of kindness, honesty, caring, respect, responsibility. And we also lean in with some academic support. And sometimes like Phil always likes to say, if you can't tell the difference between where the academic support and the art, where that line crosses, then that's a YMCA program because we should be incorporating academic values and norms into our arts. And everyone has lesson plans that are due. So we know that our standards are high because we can see that they've been planning ahead and getting those turned in time. Yes, enrichment also includes STEM. We have some robotics programs, sports as long as space will allow, which in this great weather, we're trying to get as many sports things going on outside as well. And of course, character development. Our impact, higher academic success, increased confidence, and stronger relationships. And the last thing I'll say until we go to the video is that what really keeps me motivated and my team motivated is that these programs are free of charge. And that's really where our donors can also lean in and get really excited about the programs. Because if you are from a family of means in Baldwinsville or Fayetteville or just wherever, and your child says, Mommy, I want to take a dance class, right? There's a little bit of extra flow to get the child enrolled in a dance class. And our children don't always have, as Phil mentioned, the poverty statistics, don't always have that chance. So to be able to just, again, see the why people coming in and think, I get to take dance and I get to take it 4 days a week. Even when I was a dance student, I didn't get to go 4 days a week. It's so exciting and it really sets Syracuse on fire with love for the arts, and we're so on mission when we're completing and giving to these programs. So, and you're going to see all of that in the next wonderful video. So next slide, please.
When I am dancing, it feels like it's almost a feeling you can't really explain, because it's the drums and the instruments and sometimes the songs and the energy from the crowd. It just, I don't know, it's just a feeling of excitement, a feeling of being happy, a feeling of being free while I'm performing. The vest I have on today is from the YMCA. I have been working with the Y for 3 years now. I was an enrichment specialist, and I am currently a site coordinator for Roberts Elementary School. When I was teaching in the classroom, basically the kids would come in and we would sit down in a circle, and first they would learn a song, like a traditional African dance song, and then they would learn the dance. You know, the kids love it. They come in not really knowing what African dance and drumming is, but once they start singing, once they start hitting the drums, you know, they realize, okay, their hands may hurt, but now they're making a rhythm. So now they're excited about the rhythm. And then when they get up and learn to dance to the rhythm, now, you know, they're able to connect the two. The different art programs, like when the kids are into it, they actually realize, oh, I got a skill. I actually have a, you know, talent in this, or, you know, I can actually really take this and apply it somewhere else. It teaches them coordination, development, teaches them how to focus, teaches them how to, you know, be a community, because you have to do things as one. I have a saying that goes, good, better, best. Never let us rest until the good become the better and the better become the best. And I use that to help, especially the kids, know that whatever it is you're doing in life, you can be good at it, but keep pushing yourself to become better. Don't give up, don't quit, because the harder you go, the more you motivate yourself, the more you push yourself. So good, better, best. Don't rest until you get to be your best.
Amazing, Monique. It's so great to see my colleague on that video, and it really reminds me just how humbling it is, even just to work in this role, and what a fantastic team of leaders we have across our sites. And I wish they all could speak. But yeah, I'm here at any time if anyone has any questions at all, or maybe how to volunteer some fabric or something that could go towards costuming. We are open to any and all support. So thank you so much.
Diana, thank you so much. Next slide, please. All right, so now I get to introduce my colleague, Alicia Robertson. She is our Director of Education, and she's going to tell us about a few great programs that she is in charge of. The education program we have done at the Y has often run in parallel to the arts branch's education programming, but as of last year, they are now under one umbrella, the arts and education branch, and it's very exciting to me. It makes a lot of sense, I think, for us to be uniting our efforts this way. And Alicia is doing some really powerful work. Alicia.
Great, thank you. Next slide, please. Good afternoon, everyone. Power Scholars Academy is an evidence-based summer learning program that helps to close the achievement and opportunity gaps that exist in our community. It's a 5-week program. In the summer, we had 67 scholars between Kirk Park, Schiller Park, and Northeast Community Center. We also had LITs at Schiller Park and Kirk Park. The nice thing is all of our LITs were former scholars that have aged out of the program, yet still wanted to be a part of it. We offered Power Scholars as an option to scholars at 1st through 6th grades. Bell Excel, our national partner for Power Scholars, created this 5-week research-based program with the goal of eliminating the summer slide for the scholars while focusing on social emotional learning. I'm happy to report that on average, our scholars gained 3 months in reading and math this summer. So not only was there no regression, there was actually progression. Change the slide, please. Being in the Syracuse City Parks allows for ample outdoor space and time in learning in a non-traditional classroom space that's so needed. We had many returning as well as new scholars. Throughout the summer, we read many books, played many math games, conducted many science experiments, and wrote many stories. We had amazing teachers and volunteers that worked hard to build trust so that everyone felt safe to take some academic risks. 100% of the scholars reported they could trust the adults in the program, and 100% reported if they got stuck learning something new, they would try a different way. We worked hard to build community and use restorative justice circles to proactively build relationships and skills students need to support one another and collectively address challenges they face. This investment in relationship building has really paid off as our scholars built a strong community of learners. One of our most exciting field trip experiences was to the OCC science labs, where we met with science and mechanical technology professors. They learned about biology, physics, astronomy, and even used injection molds, so each scholar had their own token to bring home with them. This hands-on learning in real science labs got our scholars excited about STEM-based learning. They also enjoyed when we had visitors throughout the summer. Some of their favorites included a forest ranger and African drumming. 100% of our families reported that their child enjoyed PSA. We're so happy that the scholars went into the school year stronger and more confident. Change slide, please. A program that scholars can go into once they age out of Power Scholars is Achievers. The mission of the Y Achievers program is to assist youth in historically underrepresented populations in grades 5th through 12th in meeting high academic and career expectations. The program develops young minds, builds character, a strong work ethic, and reinforces the importance of education. Additionally, Achievers places focus on leadership and skill development. The program provides tools to develop positive behavioral traits such as caring, honesty, respect, responsibility, and self-confidence. These values, in turn, aid the youth in leading healthy, productive lives. Change slide, please. The Y Achievers program exposes students to diverse post-secondary education and career options, as well as career and college readiness sessions facilitated by people in the field. This helps with the development of a positive sense of self and heighten academic expectations. The meetings are designed to build character and help students make positive life choices. Exposure to a variety of career options assists our achievers with making informed choices. We currently have weekly meetings with achievers at the Magnarelli Center and Schiller Park. Additionally, we meet with junior achievers once a week at the Southwest Community Center. We provide academic support at Kirk Park. One of our recent themes was gratitude and learning about service-oriented professions. Additionally, we work in conjunction with Whitman School of Management at Syracuse University to provide a joint Achievers and Future Leaders program once a month at SU. These sessions provide the achievers with SAT prep, Common App prep, and expose them to different majors at SU and potential career options. Some accomplishments of this year's seniors include acceptances to Syracuse University, Lemoyne College, Niagara University, and OCC. 100% of our achievers that worked on their Common App in the program were accepted to at least one college or university with a scholarship. We had one achiever that was accepted into a very competitive direct admit medical school major, and we are so proud of all the strides made by all achievers. Thank you.
Next slide, please. There we go. We hope you found all this interesting and exciting, of course. It's an important part of our YMCA. It's really, as the slide says, it's more than grades. It's about confidence, opportunity, and hope for the future. There's lots of ways you can get involved. Sharing opportunities with families you know of that you think could take advantage of our services. Volunteering as mentors, tutors, or guest speakers. We have opportunities for many of our programs in those sorts of roles. I'll throw in here also, if you're interested in a part-time job and have a particular talent, we'd love to hear from you too. And of course, donations. Our programs, for the most part, are grant supported and or school district contract supported. And by and large, those contracts don't fully cover the expenses it takes to actually run and support these programs. We're always supplementing with annual campaign funds, other grants that we find, and so on. So obviously, donations always help. And I hope you'll join us in building strong foundations for all children and teens in our community. I'll throw it back to you, Steph.
Thanks so much, Phil. I want to open it up right now if anybody has any questions. We do have a few minutes that we can take some questions. You can feel free to either type them in the chat or ask to unmute, and we can listen to your question. It sounds like you guys really covered everything. But again, if you do have any other questions, feel free to reach out to any member of our Y team at any point, and we can always direct you to the right person to answer anything you need. But at this point, I would like to say thank you to Alicia, Diana, and Phil for all of your time and insight today. And thank you to everyone who joined us. We hope this session gave you a deeper understanding of how the Y is helping children and teens succeed academically, grow in confidence, and discover their potential. As you heard, our work is only possible with community support, whether that's through sharing opportunities with families, volunteering, or working as a job, as Phil shared. As mentors or tutors, or helping sustain our programs through donations. Together, we can build strong foundations for every child and teen in our community. Thank you again all for joining us.